Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Salmons, and in each episode we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, I'm very excited to be joined by Karen Worthy, Executive Career Transformation Coach and founder of Worthy Career Paths, where she helps senior professionals and leaders navigate career pivots and land their next leadership role. After building a career in operations and recruiting, including time working at Amazon, Karen developed a deep understanding of how hiring decisions actually happen inside organizations. She now uses that insider perspective to help executives clarify their career strategy, strengthen their professional brand, and accelerate their job search through technical coaching and hands-on guidance. Karen, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you, Olivia. I'm happy to be here.
Pleasure to have you here. And I'm very much excited to dive in and learn a little bit more about your journey. So, Karen, with all of my guests, I do like to start at the beginning. So if you don't mind briefly taking me back to what it was you was doing before you started up Worthy Career Paths, and then from there, what was the motivation behind it?
It's a great question. So prior to becoming an entrepreneur and starting my own business with Worthy Career Paths, I had I would say a typical corporate career, but I did bounce around through functions a lot. So maybe not typical. I'm an engineer by trade, by background, raised by an accountant and an engineer from a mom and a dad point of view. So I like numbers and math and process and systems is like ingrained in me. And so that's kind of been a thread throughout my whole career. But I started in large companies. So I was at Procter and Gamble, Amazon. I was doing manufacturing, operations, supply chain, ran a couple of their fulfillment centers at Amazon, and then flipped over into the startup world. And also made a switch into recruiting. Absolutely loved it. It was supposed to be 3 months of go help out in the recruiting team within the startup. 3 months turned into I loved it. I felt like I had found my next new home, and that turned into being the vice president of people and HR there, and then did that a similar role at another startup. And that had led to I took some time off to focus on my kids and figure out what I wanted to do next, and ended up having a lot of women and a lot of my friends who are also executives look to me for career guidance and job search advice. And it turned into this thing of like, wow, I really need to start this business because these are women who have been promoted, who have been tapped on the shoulder. Nobody's ever really set a system and a process in place for how to go find their next role. And so that was such a fun thing to dive into.
Yeah, beautiful. And putting that numbers brain to good use as well, because I feel like recruitment can be quite a bit of a game sometimes, because you are
Yeah.
just spending a lot of time like researching, looking out, finding and pinpointing people. So I can understand like the enjoy you got from it when you first started. And did you always have like a little bit of a burning ambition to be an entrepreneur, or did that just naturally happen, as you say, as you realized there was a very much hole that you could fill?
I think it's always been there, but I never thought it was possible.
Okay.
So I was the weird kid in engineering school that like we got three electives. Like we didn't get a whole lot of electives, but we got three electives. I went and took entrepreneurial classes in the business school as my electives, but never did anything with it. Like it was always just kind of like a maybe someday, or yeah, I'll do that when my practical career and my like paying the bills career runs its course. But I never thought it was possible for me until more recently.
And here we are, taking advantage of that class that you did back then, which is really cool.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
the big thing with entrepreneurship as well, especially when people come into coaching and they have their speciality, much like with leadership, when you're kind of moving into those kind of roles, you're very good at what you do, but you often lack that kind of business savvy that you need. So it's really nice you had that set up from the start and you could just run with it when the time was right. So let's dive into Worthy Career Paths a little bit more, just so the listeners can have some context moving forward. So, Karen, at this point in, who would you say like is your ideal client? Like, who do you very, very much love to work with the most? And then from there, how would you help them, and how do you support them along their own journey?
Oh, that's a great question. So, typically the folks I work with are vice presidents, senior vice presidents, sometimes directors, sometimes C-suites.
Mm.
But they are folks that are in the corporate world or in the startup world, and they are looking to land their next dream role. Sometimes they're still employed, but a lot of times they have been on sabbatical, or they are pivoting, or they're doing something that is a little bit different. And while they're not 100% women, a lot of my clients tend to be women as well. Probably just because that's who a lot of my network is right now. But a lot of my folks are ones that I am not a traditional coach. So I'm not going to ask you what you want to be when you grow up. I'm not going to explore every single feeling you have, but I am the one you want when you are like, what do I tell this recruiter so that they want to hire me and move me to the next round? I am really good at that stuff.
Love it. The logical coach is what we're going to call you.
Yes.
It's really cool.
Yes.
Again, explains that kind of background coming into it. You cut out the fluff and it's like, this is what we need to do. And we can take it from
Hmm.
there. So again, let's dive into it a bit more. So what is your like, how is you help them evaluate themselves and find those positions they're looking for?
Oh, that's a great question. So, I have a two-part found like two-phase approach to the job search. It's a very structured system. So we have tools and techniques and templates and scripts and all like a very specific process that you go through. But first you have to do the foundational piece. So you need to figure out what type of job do you want? What type of company do you want to work at? And then we put all the things in place. So we get your personal branding, just like if you're an entrepreneur and you're selling your product, when you're job searching, you are the product. And so you're putting your marketing plan together, you're putting your branding together. It looks more like resumes and LinkedIn profiles and interview stories, but it's the same concept. And then once you have your foundation in place, we go through and work on the tactical execution of the job search, which can often be very difficult because these are very high performing executive people. And so they're used to being in a system and having measurable results and having big deliverables. And then when you're job searching, if you are in between roles, you're kind of on your own you're like a new entrepreneur trying to figure out how to do it all on your own. And they don't have a lot of experience with that typically.
Yeah, so and it's so true. It is that guidance and clarity that a lot of them need. Sometimes they know what, and even that first piece, you must help them unlock a few things as well, just to realize what they actually want and the kind of
Yeah.
career they want to pivot into, because that's easier said than done for most people as well. Like I know if you sat me
Yeah.
down now and was like, Olivia, like let's refigure out what you want to do, I'd be like, Karen, can we go for a walk first? Do you know?
Exactly. Exactly. And I think a lot of it too. So like I will not do the super deep like let's redesign your whole life. I have referral partners that are amazing at that
Beautiful.
that I will send people to for that. But once you know generally what you want to do, I am really good at helping folks refine that down of like what level should you be targeting? Which companies should you be targeting? What pieces of your background are very marketable to the companies that are hiring right now? And then how do we bring those into the limelight?
Love it. So very much make, as you said, like on Expert, it's like making you seen as that specialist in your field, you know, why people are attracted to you
Exactly.
and then move on from there. Awesome stuff.
Exactly.
One thing I'm very curious to find out, because it is a very noisy world at the moment, you know, there's a lot of people, especially within the coaching space, very much taking part and jumping on board. So like, what are you finding most effective in just kind of like finding those right people to work with? You know, what channels and methods are really working well for you at the moment, Karen?
Yeah, so a lot of mine come through communities and networks that I'm part of, referrals, but
Cool.
that wasn't always the case. Like I've spent a lot of time building up those networks. And so by the time that folks come to me, they already know who I am somewhat. They've either heard me speak somewhere because I do a lot of speaking gigs. Um, I also get a lot of referrals from past clients and from folks who have heard me speak. And then they'll come into my world and they already are fairly pre-qualified at that point. So they already know they want to coach. They typically know they need help. And they already know that they can trust me because somebody else that they trust has already referred me in typically.
Yeah, referrals are amazing. I feel like a lot of founders wish they could just live on referrals forever. So it's nice,
Yes.
kind of, as you say, it takes a long time to get there, but it's nice that you've
Yeah,
developed a good system to move forward. And speaking is a great way to do that. Just be intentional with the rooms you get yourself in and the people you're in front
yeah.
of. And it just shows kudos to the work you are doing when you can build a good referral network. Did you utilize social media in any way or run any form of ads just to build yourself up or even bring a little bit more consistency to what you're doing at the moment?
So I'm on LinkedIn and I do post there fairly regularly. It's not social media, but I do have a newsletter that goes out every week as well that is a free newsletter for folks. But I have tried, I actually don't love social media and ads kind of scare me a little bit. So I've tried to stay away from those somewhat. I would really love to dive into those at some point, but it has not been the priority because a lot of times, like what I offer is very high touch, it's very personalized and they want to have somebody that they trust fairly implicitly. And so the relationships and the human connection has really been where I've leaned in.
Yeah, fair enough. And as you say, if you need to tackle that in the future, there's always an avenue to go down. I think they're just great for staying top of mind, reaching people who are
Yes.
outside of your ecosystem. So just when you're ready to grow and expand, it's just taking those next steps. And an email,
100,
that's exactly the same thing. You want to be like, when I'm looking for a job, who do I want to think about? Karen.
100%. Like if I pause and don't post on LinkedIn for a week or two, I get a lot of messages like, "Where'd you go? Are you okay?" Like it definitely helps me stay top of mind for folks.
Yeah, it really does. And do you utilize like Meta or even YouTube just to again just kind of bring a different audience, then maybe travel them through LinkedIn would be a great way to do it.
It's on the roadmap for the future, but it's not in place right now, yeah.
Yeah, love it. And then do you have a team there helping out at all, Karen? Or are you very much a solopreneur, kind of wearing all the hats amongst yourself?
I have a small but intentional team of contractors that help me out. So I have a woman that works in the back end and does a lot of my um, the non-client facing stuff. I have another coach that I partner with who helps lead some of the different sessions, and I have a technical support person that helps me with things like making sure my CRM is up and running and making sure the website is functional and all of those things.
Beautiful. So you've got a nice, as you say, small but intentional team, which is really good because it can be a pretty lonely place as a
It
founder.
definitely
So it's
can.
nice you
Yeah.
have the support in the jobs that you aren't so comfortable doing yourself. It's a really nice aspect. And
Yes.
I suppose, what are your visions or like intentions for the company moving forward? When you think of the next 6 to 12 months, like what are the targets or the milestones that you're hopefully looking forward to achieving?
So I'm looking for intentional growth. So not hyper growth. I don't want to like 10x my business in the next 12 months, but very intentional, systemic, sustainable growth is really where I'm targeting. I'm also spending a lot of time last year and this year really deepening my foundational roots, deepening my systems, deepening my content platform, and all of that kind of thing. So it's very intentional,
Yeah.
scalable, but intentional growth.
Yeah, as you say, just very much we know the plan and we're going to move forward at the level that is comfortable for everybody. And probably where are you finding like the biggest challenge for yourself at the moment, like within the business or even taking those next steps?
A lot of the challenge has been prioritizing what do I want to focus on first because there is a lot to go do. I've chosen to go really focus on some of the bottlenecks. So I am building out a content architecture that allows me to share the methodology that I have in a much more structured way, use it in like building repeatable assets, that kind of thing. And that is part of really deepening my thought process around it, although it's already fairly structured, but also sharing it in a more structured way with the audience and with potential leads.
Yeah, nice. So again, building up so that, are you kind of like bulk doing it so you don't have to then obviously spend so much time throughout your day trying to think of what to
Exactly.
post going forward? Yeah, makes so much
Exactly.
sense.
Yeah.
So much sense. And I suppose if you had like an influx of like if somebody all of a sudden just gave you like an influx of oh my God, what is the word Olivia you say every day?
Referrals or leads.
No,
Oh,
an influx of money within the
uh,
business. Like what would be the first thing you'd implement or change just to help you kind of get to that next level?
it's a great question. I've thought a lot about that. So I've tried in the past, and one of the things I do want to do at some point is add on an additional coach or two so that I can have a little bit more, like I have a set number of slots that I can fill every month, and I'm thankfully very repeatable at making sure they're filled, but I would love to scale that over time. The other thing is I would love to have like a more of a full-time copywriter marketer to help with those types of things.
Yeah.
I have a lot of the ideas, but sometimes the translation from idea to copy on the page is not as flawless as I would like it to be.
I know exactly what I mean. Resources was the word I was looking for that I was trying to get out on the piece of paper. And I feel like
Yes.
a lot of founders do struggle with that as well, especially when you are working within the business. It's so hard to look from the outside and think like, how can I message this? Like, what is my ICP? It is those little
Mhm.
nuances that just bringing someone else in can really much get a fresh set of eyes over things.
Yes.
And Karen, there's one final question to you. If you could go back in time to a younger self and you could
Mhm.
only leave yourself with one piece of advice moving forward, something you know now, but that you didn't know back then, what would you say to
Mhm.
yourself?
Oh, that's a great question. When I was my younger self, I thought I knew exactly what I wanted to be when I grew up. I had like a 10-year to 15-year plan. I wish I could go back and tell myself that the biggest thing that's going to impact your success and your happiness is the ability to adapt and change and learn and grow. Because the version that I am right now, I never could have predicted this when I was younger, but I am so happy with where I am right now.
Love to hear that. But as you say, life happens and it is about
Yes.
pivoting and taking it from there. But
Yeah.
Karen, thank you so much for joining me today and for
Oh,
sharing
of
your incredible
course.
journey and insight with us. Where can our listeners reach out best to work with you or connect with you if they would like to do so?
Um, yep. So you can always check out my website. It's Worthy Career Paths with an S at the end, or they can find me on LinkedIn, Karen Worthy.
Beautiful stuff. And thank you again, Karen. I really appreciate you joining
Of
me
course.
today.
Thank
And
you, Olivia.
And to our listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to go and check out Karen Worthy on LinkedIn. As she just said, drop her a message. I'm sure she'd love to hear from everybody. Or check out the website, Worthy Career Paths. And do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from $0 to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing and we'll see you on the next one.